Today I want to look at the character of Darth Vader and compare his story to Luke's. Now let me start off by saying this is my opinion and you don't have to agree with it. Most people would say Luke Skywalker is whiny and lame. I would have to disagree though. I can relate and look up to Luke throughout his journey to manhood. It's the best part of the original trilogy. He starts out as a farm boy who's whiny like all of us as kids. Slowly, however, he starts to grow and mature into a wise and kind Jedi Knight. You feel the pain of his struggles and can empathize with him when he learns his father is the most evil man in the galaxy. At least before they made the last butcher shop, Jedi. How would you like to learn your father is literally considered the worst person on Earth and is a horrible villain? Contrasting it with Anakin and Rey's stories, you feel empty in those two. Not because Rey's a woman though. If Luke defeated Vader instantly like she defeated Kylo, I would just be just as uninterested with him as I am with her. Let's get to the topic at hand now. Vader at first seems like this cool and interesting villain who's the icon of what a good villain can be. When Vader turns to the light side, his character becomes even more interesting. You start to feel like there's more to this character than meets the eye. So on the surface, Vader seems like this really epic, dark, and tragic villain. But then you start to see Anakin's story unfold. Now I love the prequels when it comes to clones and Jedi, but the story of Anakin's fall sucks. In reality, Vader is just a cowardly man who submits to the Emperor and doesn't even do it to help the ones he cares about. He could defeat Palpatine if he wanted to. Instead, he decides to give up and become the royal bootlicker. I can't relate to Anakin's struggle even if I had a wife. He decides to kill a bunch of innocent children even though he knows it won't help him get his wife back. He constantly gets mad at his superiors and hates on them, even when they try to help him. He acts edgy and quote-unquote cool in the Clone Wars cartoon. He disobeys orders and jeopardizes the mission all the time. It almost feels like he's just this stereotypical boring edgy teenager who doesn't even grow up as a man. All of us fail at some point in our life. But then we rise up again to fight the failure. Luke learned from his mistakes and was willing to kill his own father. But with Anakin's, he starts out as a regular little kid, then he morphs into an edgy, annoying teenager who just cares only about himself. After that, he becomes an even more annoying adult man. He never really was the cunning warrior that Obi-Wan talks about in A New Hope. He was actually just a failure. Sorry, but I can't relate to a man who just thinks it's right to commit murder just because some strange, obviously evil man named Palpatine tells him he can save his wife. Sure, the Jedi should have seen this coming, but at least they weren't annoying. So how is it the Jedi's fault when Anakin commits those horrible acts? Anakin claims he didn't do anything wrong. In a court, that would never work out, and should never work out. Cold-blooded murder gets the death penalty. Sure, the Jedi are imperfect too, but as the saying goes, whoever pays the crime has to pay the time. Sure, he cries at Mustafar. Obi-Wan literally tells Anakin he did all of this to himself in the same movie that Anakin falls. And you know what? He's right. In conclusion, Vader wasted his life killing people who did nothing to him, and it took him 30 years to change. This evidence proves the fact, in my opinion, that Darth Vader is a loser. I know he's just a fictional character, he isn't real, but I just love Star Wars and wanted to get this off my chest.